Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we are discussing A Royal Setting, which originally premiered on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, March 28th, and is currently available to stream on Hallmark Plus. Hey, hop on over to Instagram. We are Girls Gone Hallmark. That's the best place you can keep up with what's going on with us.
We also want to invite you to come join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Megan and Wendy. We get a ton of emails and comments like, oh, I've listened to you guys for so long because I love your banter. I love your stuff. Well, if you guys are maybe wanting to hear other things than Hallmark,
that's the place.
Come on over to Patreon.
4 episodes a month.
Kind of wish we were recording what we just talked about off mic. I mean, never, but...
No, that will never hit the airwaves.
But it's that kind of loosey-goosey...
Yeah, between friends.
Yes, exactly. Also, speaking of emails, if you want to email us, you can at hello@girlsgonehallmark.com. That is a fairly new email address for us. We're still at girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com too, but...
We still occasionally get the odd email to Megan and Wendy @gmail.com as well.
Really? Yeah. We're in their contacts?
Yeah. All right, let's kick off our discussion of A Royal Setting with a synopsis.
Ruby, a world-renowned gemologist, is hired by Prince Luca to restore the crown jewels and design his crown, challenging tradition and complicating his relationship with his mother, the Queen.
A Royal Setting is directed by Bradley Walsh, a Hallmark regular with more than 50 directing credits, including 'Twas the Date Before Christmas and Catch Me If You Claws.
Ainsley Gordon and W. Stewart share writing credit. Ainsley brings 23 previous writing credits, including Last Christmas's Melt My Heart This Christmas. W. Stewart has 9 credits, including 2 unwrapping Christmas titles, Lily's Destiny and Mia's Prince.
Jen Lilley stars as Ruby, marking her long-awaited return to Hallmark for the first time since 2022. Fans will remember her from favorites like Mingle All the Way, a little daytime drama, and the cult classic The Spirit of Christmas.
I love how The Spirit of Christmas always comes up for a Jen Lilley movie.
That's because it's one of the best.
It's entertaining.
It is entertaining.
Dan Jeannotte co-stars as Prince Luca, reuniting with Jen Lilley after Paris Wine and Romance. He was most recently seen in Love on the Danube, Royal Getaway.
Sarah Orenstein plays Queen Ivy. Sarah has 31 previous acting credits and recently appeared in When Hope Calls.
Ed Pinker plays Xander. This marks his 17th acting credit and previously appeared in The Love Club from 2025.
Farrah Young appears as Jory. This is her 34th acting credit with recent roles in Heartland and a movie called Daddy's Deadly Secret.
That's my vibe, 100%. Tim Mackin appears as Guard Fred. This and a movie called Christmas with a Prince, the Royal Baby from 2021 are his only acting credits.
We'll be right back with our first impressions. Before we share our first impressions, I opened up Instagram because I wanted to pull some of the comments from the first impression post.
Yeah.
And the very first thing is a post from Hallmark Channel saying, "Ahoy, Love on Deck starring Daniel Lissing and Rhiannon Fish is officially in production in beautiful Queensland, Australia." First of all, this is kind of unusual for Hallmark to announce a movie like that, in production.
Yeah.
But second of all, Daniel Lissing hopefully getting to speak in his native Australian accent is something to look forward to. I can guess your thoughts on the rest of that movie, though.
Daniel Lissing is enough for me to tune in for sure, but this is where my thought is. It's a travel movie, also starring Rhiannon Fish, who is the queen of travel movies. Is it directed by that same guy that always directs travel movies starring Rhiannon Fish?
Quite possibly. But let's share our first impressions of A Royal Setting.
Mine is, guess who's back? Back again.
The Hallmark hater. Uh-oh. Mine is clearly we're operating on Hallmark Standard Time as the number of permanent life decisions made in a single week on the behalf of Prince Luca is truly staggering.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I may have asked this already. Was this an acquisition?
I don't know.
I saw some Facebook comments from somebody we know, actually, who was commenting on Hallmark's like official Instagram, like that was promoting the movie. And they were like, nope, not going to watch another terrible acquisition. And I was like, oh, is this an acquisition? Is this confirmed an acquisition?
I don't know that information.
I don't either. But let's talk about what we did like.
Okay.
Why don't you jump in? Because Megan liked this movie. Yeah. I did not, guys.
It's funny because I have so many complaints about this movie. I really enjoy the process of watching it. I can't explain it. I really can't explain it. Here's what I liked. My absolute star of the movie is Fred/George.
Why?
Because what's not to love about our guard George?
That's what you liked about this movie? I mean, fine.
Here's what else I liked. Luca's wardrobe. I had some issues with the wardrobe in this movie, but Luca, he wears pink ties, he wears floral shirts. It's like I'm the model of a modern major general. Like I am like bringing the monarchy forward.
He's challenging tradition, yes.
With the power of a look. Also, this isn't a like, this is just a comment. I was watching this entire movie and I was trying to figure it out. Jen Lilley has Disney princess face.
Yeah, definitely.
Like big eyes, rosy cheeks, perfectly proportioned and symmetrical, big hair. She's got Disney princess face. I think that's her hair too. Maybe some extensions, but I don't think it's a wig.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. There's a lot to unpack right here. First of all, you did text me. You said Dan Jeannotte is wearing sweat shorts.
He was.
Was this a like? Or was this just like a, what is happening here?
Because I didn't love Dan's hair in this movie.
Didn't even clock it.
It was too big. It was giving something about the 90s. It was like tall.
The 90s are back, baby. It was Jason Priestley tall. Brandon Walsh tall.
Taller.
Megan has her fingers in her hair right now and she's lifting it sky high.
Dan Jeannotte is such a handsome man. I was like, oh, I think his hair is too long for this movie. And then like in the opening scene, he is in gray sweatshirts. No, it wasn't a like. Because they were going for a run and I get it, but I was like, something about I know like gray sweatpants. Like I'm very familiar with the vibe there. And maybe that's what they were going for. It just, that wasn't landing for me.
You know what also didn't land for me in that scene is they were not wearing like running shoes.
Oh, what kind of shoes were they wearing?
I don't know. They look like a pair of like Sambas, Adidas. I mean, technically those are probably, but you know, not like they weren't in a Hoka. They weren't headed out in like a New Balance. Like we're going for a run.
Yeah.
Exercise. It was like they were wearing a casual sporty shoe, not a running shoe.
Yeah.
Anyway, my next thing I want to talk about is one of my biggest likes is Jen Lilley is as cute as a button.
She really is.
And I did see a comment that said her hair like was terrible. And I disagree. I thought her hair and makeup, I thought were very pretty. And you're right. She does. Like her face is Disney princess.
Yeah, I liked her hair too. And because it was voluminous. And I was like, people are going to say this is a wig because it was voluminous and it stayed in place. I don't know if you noticed it, but I think she maybe had extensions in.
Who doesn't these days?
I'm not knocking it. I was just trying to figure it out because I was looking at an interview with her and I was like, that's her hair. I just think she had more of it, which yeah, great. Also, I kind of liked the monochromatic look they gave her in almost every single scene. Like she was like the monochromatic pantsuit queen. I thought she looked good.
It's my number one like. I loved Ruby's wardrobe. I thought polished, flattering, bright. Like she must have had a hand in picking out the wardrobe. I think
maybe, yeah.
I mean, who knows?
That pink dress she wears.
Loved it.
Yeah, the festival.
Loved it. I wrote in my notes, it looks like she belongs on the cover of Gemologist
Weekly.
And she was. It was some sort of magazine that she was on at the beginning. But like, I thought outfits, hair, makeup, all on point.
Yeah, and you're right. She is so cute in this movie. I think that's what I liked. She's really watchable in this movie. Like in those scenes where she's just chatting to George and pulling off both sides of the conversations herself, I found that endlessly enjoyable.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I do want to add here, if you guys know us or have listened to us, you know I had my reservations, but I truly went into this. I was like, all right, because you and I said, let's go into it with an open mind. Like, let's just see what Hallmark presents to us.
Uh-huh.
So I did not go in like with a hater chip on my shoulder,
right,
by any means. But you kind of touched on this already, but I did really appreciate the modern royal angle. I will always root for like a royal who wants to shake up tradition. I love that. I love when Hallmark kind of like explores that trope. So that worked for me. The idea of the story worked for me. I just don't know if like it fully got there for me though.
Yeah, I hear you. We have the Jory Xander subplot, and I am so glad that right off the bat, we know that Jory is not hoping for a future with the prince, because that leads us down a path that I don't want to go down, where the prince is like, sure, I'll take you to this event. He's having to work between like what his mom wants and what he wants. He and Jory are on the same page.
Right.
Neither of them want this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it's immediately established. Like, it's Jory and Xander forever. Also, look, call me cheesy. I don't know what it was. I liked the paper gems, the little achievement marker paper gems. Look, I think it's sweet. And when she gives it to George and writes steadfast on it, give me a break. His little heart, Wendy hates it. I don't know what to tell you.
It's in my Did You See That? I'm going to talk about it in a minute.
I want to fold a paper gem. Somebody give me a paper gem. Look, words of affirmation are absolutely my love language, so it's working for me.
That is not true.
Tied with gifts.
There it is.
But I do need words of affirmation. I need to be told, you're doing a good job.
Me too. I'm ready to move on to wishes.
Okay.
I wish this movie had some sense of momentum. I thought it felt incredibly slow the entire time. It just never quite took off for me. Do you disagree?
Look, when I look at the plot, I'm like, oh, nothing happens. I don't know what it is. I did not feel that in watching the movie.
Really?
I didn't. I don't know. Maybe maybe I had a good night's sleep and I was just ready to settle in.
Maybe you didn't have
coffee and a Hallmark movie.
You didn't have other things to do and you just were chilling. You're in the mood for a Hallmark.
I must have been.
Traditional movie.
It's bright. It's happy. You know, I always love the vibe of the TV show Superstore because it's so bright. I think maybe I just needed that joy in my life.
I will agree that it does have that, but it wasn't enough. I also needed sharper dialogue. I needed witty, playful, something memorable. I thought there was lots of explaining of things, but it lacked like charm.
Yeah. Lots of exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite podcasts, The West Wing Weekly, would call scenes like that teledonas, where Josh would tell his assistant Donna, like he would explain something. She'd be like, oh, I don't understand that trade agreement. And then he would explain it to her so that the viewers would understand it. It's exactly that. Look, I wish Ruby had Googled the prince once. The fact that she traveled internationally and had no idea what this man looked like. It's giving Meghan Markle, I didn't understand the royal family. Look, I like Meghan Markle, but I do not believe her. I had no idea who he was or what he was about. Give me a break.
Yeah. Can I talk about the specific scene at the top of the movie where, she's like working, I don't know, she's working on some sort of jewels or whatever. And then the mom presents like, oh, you have this assignment, invitation, whatever to go do. And the mom was like talking her up like, you're this and you're that. And they want you to do this. And her reaction was like, really? And I was like, why are you responding in such like an inquisitive, like you are so surprised that you're wanted for this job? Like she was like, oh, I had never thought about that. Like, it just was so off-putting to me. I'm like, she's on a cover of a magazine, right? Like, people think like she is one of the best at her job. So why wouldn't she be pursued as such? It was weird to me. So this whole like section is like the mom explaining to us, the audience, of like what a great opportunity this is and who this person, the prince is, and their family and their history and whatever, blah, 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 blah. Again, it's just like, it's so much telling us.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear that.
My other big wish is I didn't think that Ruby and Prince Luca had any chemistry.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
I thought they were very polite with each other.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. And I was honestly kind of surprised because this is that fine line of like characters versus actors, right? Yeah. These two actors have worked together in a movie that people loved, like thought that they were so great in together. I've never seen that movie, but I didn't see it here. And I don't know if it was because their characters are like that or just because like the vibes weren't happening between our two actors.
Well, also, I mentioned the timeline in my first impression. We make a huge leap here. The man puts a ruby in his crown for like a woman who is, he's known her for 5 days, and he puts the ruby in his crown and doubles down by choosing a ruby for his special gem that's going to be put on the display, which, by the way, the display in the lobby that you can just lift the lid off of. Explain that to me. Like, I need a little more security there. But we make such a leap. Fine, invite her to be your date to the coronation. Invite her to stick around, spend some time. But I'm falling for you. They use the word love. He permanently cements her into his reign as a king in a week. That's an enormous leap, as opposed to, oh, maybe I'd like to go on a date with this woman.
I just had a thought. Did they ever catch those thieves who broke into the Louvre and stole those crown jewels?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Like, it only happened like a few months ago, but I don't think they caught anybody.
Several suspects were arrested, but the stolen treasures have not been recovered. Do you have any more wishes?
I have two more.
Okay.
One, I wish Ruby's mom hadn't jumped to the immediate, you're in love with the prince, go for it.
Yeah.
I was just a shop girl who, I'm like, first of all, the mom doesn't even know the prince. She's on the other side of the world. And she's like telling her daughter, like, go for it. You just met this guy, go for it. That feels icky to me.
Yes. I'd be like, don't get love bombed. Like, open your eyes.
Totally. And my last thought is just an opinion and why I asked if this was an acquisition, because if this is supposed to be Jen Lilley's big return to Hallmark, this was not the vehicle for it.
Yeah, it didn't do her the service she was hoping for, probably. In my notes, I say that I wish Jory's wardrobe had gotten the same memo that Luca's got. But now that I think about it, I wonder if it was intentional, because I found Jory's wardrobe to be very traditional and almost a little bit juvenile in its appearance and very classic. And I wonder if that's an intentional nod to the fact that she was the one who was supposed to be upholding tradition.
Oh, maybe.
And her mom, the Countess, was so firm in her beliefs. So maybe I'm going to give that wardrobe choice the benefit of the doubt and assume that it was intentional to make her look that way.
Interesting. Okay.
Are you ready for Did You See That?
I am.
Okay. I got a bunch.
I have a few.
Okay, go ahead.
One is kind of a joke. I was watching this, and my husband walked by, and they were saying something about crown jewels. And of course, my husband's 12, and it was like, I'll give you these crown jewels.
Of course.
And I was just like, it was like, take a drink every time we say crown jewels. I laughed every single time.
We are 12 also, apparently.
Yes. Because you touched on it, the DIY gym-shaped encouragement notes, what did you call them? You had a better name for them.
Achievement markers?
Okay. Cute in theory. The execution was real middle school.
Sure.
And are you making one for your daughter? Your adult daughter? Not 18, more like 40.
If it's a nod to her childhood, I think that's what becomes cute. If you started in her adulthood, it's weird. But it's kind of like the dad who writes a note to their daughter in their lunchbox every day and then like later on slips like a napkin note to their daughter as a sweet moment. I got you there a little bit.
You did get me there a little bit, but I just
Okay.
a little cheesy. I have 2 more. Did you see that? But I'm curious to hear yours.
Okay, some of them, when Dan puts Jen back in the Mercedes, like when the driver comes back and the tire is fixed, he's hiding who he is and he uses this like fake accent. And he's like, "Oh, thank you very much." Just made me laugh out loud. The Queen gives a speech to Ruby in which she is savage and says, "Newer gemstones may catch the eye, but we can't ignore history." And I was like, oh, she's like, "Get out of here, you interloper." Luca uses the phrase "the royal Instagram," and we rarely hear real social media platforms called out in a Hallmark movie. This is not in the movie, but I saw a clip of an interview with Jen talking about the crown that Luca wears. First of all, she says that originally they had spent a ton of money and commissioned a crown to be made, and it arrived and it was basically 3D printed and made of plastic. She's like, I joked, we called it the Marvel crown. She's like, it looked like a Halloween costume. So they had to scramble to get something made. And she even comments like the dialogue they say about the crown doesn't match what the actual crown looks like because the jeweler that they got was on such like a time crunch. Like she was like, he did, a great job with what he had. I just like that little behind the scenes peek.
Oh, interesting. I like that too. I didn't see that interview.
And finally, another line from his mother when she says, "Heart is never something I considered when it came to your hand in marriage." I was like, ouch. It's 2026, people.
I know.
We're seeing the same thing in the Forsytes,
right.
by the way.
Yeah.
Just like Gemma, which is not set in 2026.
My 2 other wishes are, one is a question. Does Dan Jeannotte have an accent or not? I genuinely don't know anymore.
I don't think so.
Is he an American?
I think so.
Or is he English? I don't know. Like he plays so many roles where he's like of British descent or whatever, or European descent. Like, I don't know. My other, did you see that, is based off of, because our first impressions post, the fans were commenting, and then when I fired this movie up, it could not be ignored. The makeup on Prince Luca and Xander, they look like straight out of Twilight.
Yes.
They were so pasty, and then they had like these red lips. I don't know if it was makeup or if it was lighting.
Yeah, I agree. Dan Jeannotte is a Canadian actor. He speaks both English and French fluently. Oh, here's an interview.
I'm really excited to be filming in Paris.
So no, he does not have a British accent. But
that is so wild to me.
Put him in a role with one quite frequently.
Make him a Parisian. I want to hear him speak French.
Yeah. Also, this is my biggest complaint. Why does every fake royal have a British accent? There are other accents.
Oh, I have another. Did you see that? I just remembered. Okay, I don't know where this like royal land was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But when Ruby is being driven by a driver, they're in like an American, it's like on the left side of, the driver is on the left side, just like it is here.
They only drive on the right in a few countries.
Really?
Yeah, the UK, Australia.
Okay, but this is supposed to be taking place in the UK, is it not?
No.
Maybe?
No.
Where?
They're in Gallium.
Where the F is that?
It's fake.
I know. Okay.
The UK is 4 countries.
So, okay, fine. So
it's supposed to take place in Europe. Most of Europe does not drive on. Correct.
Okay. Send your emails to dummy@girlsgonehallmark.com. Are you ready to rate this bad boy?
Yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars. I'm not sorry. I had a good time watching this movie.
Guess who's back? Back again. I gave it 2 stars.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. If you loved this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. Drop them in the podcast app you're listening in, and we will be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.